Hello guys, welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather, and today we are going to start my Summerween vlog. I am super excited about Summerween. It started today. Today is Friday, July 2nd. We're gonna go for the next week reading all kinds of fun, spooky reads, and I'm so excited about it. I really enjoy mysteries and horror and thrillers and just, getting my vibe on with that. October's also like the best month of the year. Besides Halloween, it's also my birthday month. So, I have fond feelings towards Halloween. I also, as a kid, me and my mom would watch lots of scary movies together and still do that to this day. So totally up for some Halloween vibes in July, for sure. But I figured, first things first, let's get subscribed to this channel so you guys can come back and see some more video content. So do that really quick. And then we're gonna talk through my TBR for this coming week. So if you guys don't know, the Summerween is hosted by Gabby over at Gabby Reads and Olivia at oliviareadsalatte. So they are running this and they have 5 prompts for us. Some of them aren't like super book related necessarily, but the first one is to either bake a treat or make some kind of drink that's kind of Halloween-y. And so I'm not really sure how I'm working that in yet, but we'll see what I kind of come up with. I need to look up some ideas. And then the second one is to read a book in the dark, which I read at night a lot. That's when I get most of my reading done, and a lot of it's after my husband's sleeping, so I'm usually reading in the dark while he is sleeping. So that should be easy to do, and probably most of these will be read in the dark. And then the third prompt is to read a paranormal book, and the fourth one is to read a horror book, and the fifth one is to have black or orange on the cover, which is obviously like Halloweenish type colors. And I don't really see that being a problem either. I think a lot of my books actually fall into the horror book prompt, and they have black or orange on the cover. Most of them have black on the cover, I believe. So that should work out pretty well. I think we can hit all those prompts. It's pretty easy. But I do have like a ton of books I would love to get to this week. I actually am taking, I think, a little bit of this week to try out some shorter like novellas and stuff from some different authors that I haven't read from, but that I'm really interested in. And so that's kind of what a lot of these books are. I also have a handful of graphic novels, which I forgot to grab, and I should go grab those. And I have an audiobook, which I actually already started this morning, and it's going pretty good. So let's go ahead and run through some of the shorter stories that I have that we're going to try out and see if I like some of these authors. Quite a few of these authors, like, I'm really interested into a lot of their different storylines. So if I like their writing and style, I feel like they're authors I'm going to want to pick up more in the future. So one of those authors is Darcy Coates, and so I was able to get The Haunting of Gillespie House. So this one is 170 pages, and we are following this girl, Elle, and she is going to be house sitting for a month at the Gillespie house. But she's like really intrigued into being there and finding out more about the history of the house, and it's got like a cemetery in the backyard, but then also all the death dates are from the same year, which is kind of weird. And it's got like a lot of antique furniture and just lots of rooms to explore. But then there's also some scratching in the walls that's getting very annoying. And so she kind of becomes entangled in all of the house's dark and deadly history, including the original owner, a tyrannical cult leader who may not be as gone as Elle would like. Miss Athena is going to say hi. Okay, scoochy scooch. So this next author, I have actually read one of her books and I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I also have Hannah Beast by Jennifer McMahon, and it's only like 49 pages. So I'd like to get into her work a little bit more and just explore a little bit more with her. And this one's really short and sweet, and I feel like that would be a good one to throw into this readathon. So with this one, 34 years ago on Halloween night, Hannah took part in a scavenger hunt gone wrong on purpose. Now a mother finds the most horrifying costume to be the one of the urban legend called Hannah Beast. So yeah, we'll see where that one goes. And then also an author that I'm kind of interested in is Keelan Patrick Burke. And so I'm going to be reading The Turtle Boy by him. So this one's like just under 100 pages. And it is about Timmy and his best friend Pete. Summer is out for the year, and they really love playing at Myers Pond Playground. There's like a rumor that there's turtles there that are like the size of Buicks, and they hide out at this playground area in the pond. So one day when they're there, they encounter this strange boy, and everything seems to change. Timmy and Pete's summer become a season of terror, betrayal, and murder. And then I do have Stephen Graham Jones's new book that's coming out. I think it comes out next month. So I got an e-arc of that from NetGalley, and that's My Heart is a Chainsaw. And this one is not a short story. It's like 400 pages, but I would like to really get to it. I'm curious about his work. I haven't read his other book that came out last year, The Only Good Indians, I think it's called, maybe. But this one is about Jade, and she is very angry. She has an abusive father, an absent mother, and she lives in a town that wants nothing to do with her. She finds solace in horror films, especially slasher films with people behind a mask. And so when blood begins to flow into the Indian Lake, she predicts how the plot is going to unfold, and as the mask is removed and reveals the girl underneath it. Okay, I just went and grabbed a couple of graphic novels that I have. So this one's called Maids. It's by Katie Skelly. Sometimes those stickers just cover it all up. But this one is like about these maids, and it says every day is the same until it is not. Lee and Christine are maids. Mornings are for cooking and tidying. Their mistress is strict, gardening at midday. If they are fired, they will be homeless. A young lady is getting married. Family and religion has failed them. In the evening, they smoke cigarettes and reminisce. On February 2nd, 1933, they will murder everybody in the house. It's about these two maids basically going about their business until they decide to just kill everybody. You know, why not? And then I have Basket Full of Heads by Joe Hill. I read Lock and Key by him recently, and I did enjoy that one. His graphic novels are a little more on the gory side, so if you don't like that, you may want to avoid his graphic novels. But this one is about June. She like goes to visit her boyfriend on this island, and then these like criminals that escaped a prison nearby or something get out, and they come into their house that they're at and kidnap the boyfriend, and she ends up beheading one of them, but the head's like still talking, and so she has to like use the head to like find the boyfriend or something. Something odd like that. So we'll see where that one kind of goes. Yeah. So the last graphic novel is Something is Killing the Children, and this is by James Tinian IV. So this one, children start going missing in Archer's Peak, and all hope seems lost until this mysterious woman shows up, and she claims that terrifying creatures are behind these disappearances, and she is the only one who can destroy them. So I've heard some good things about this one. I'm interested, and it's on Hoopla, so I figured I would get it through my library that way, and we'll see how this one goes. And then this one I kind of put into my graphic novel area, but it's a mix between, I guess, graphic novel and novel. But it is Thornhill by Pam Smee. And this one I actually saw over on Carol Marie Reads channel. and I will put that down below, but she read it during Strangeathon, and I was like, that sounds really interesting. So you're actually following two different parallel plot lines. So one of these girls is telling their story through these pictures, and then one of the girls tells her story through these like diary entries. And so you're following, let's see, it's Mary. She's an orphan at the Thornhill Institute for Children, and she's there when it shuts down, and something, I think it says something has happened while she was there. And then we have, years later, Ella moves into this house next door, and she's determined to befriend the girl she sees at the Thornhill house and unravel the secrets of the house or something. Which is kind of funny, because I was just like, when I was holding this up, I like looked at the back, and it totally gives a different synopsis than what Goodreads gives. It says, a lonely girl in a new town, a ghostly figure in the window, a derelict old house, and a mystery spanning the decades. An orphan faces a bully alone and plots her revenge. Years later, a girl catches glimpses of a figure in the window of a burned out and abandoned old house and begins to unravel the mystery of Thornhill. And it just sounds really interesting, and I'm really intrigued at the fact that it's like told in two different formats between the pictures and then the actual like diary entry novel type part. So I'm really kind of curious about this one, and it sounds like a fun time. So if that's not enough books for a week, I also was like, okay, I literally just picked out, I think that was 8 books, and they are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 books, but they're all physical reads that I would be using my eyeballs for. And I was like, I need to listen to something. And I was like looking at the prompts and making sure, you know, I kind of filled in all of them. So a lot of them do have black on the cover. And then also most of these would be categorized as horror novels. So the other one is the paranormal aspect. So if you include like ghosts, got a lot of that. No problem there. But if you're thinking more like vampires and werewolves and stuff, I don't really have anything like that that I know of yet, unless it comes into play into one of these. And I don't have an audiobook. So I figured I actually added The Beautiful by Renee Audier into my Belle's Bookland, and I was like, that actually would be a really good pick to listen to during Summerween. I probably will finish it, and I might have to try and find a different audiobook as well, but this is what I have planned at the moment, and I actually started it this morning. I am about a third of the way in. I was listening to it while I was like working out and getting ready and stuff. So this one is set in New Orleans in the late 1800s, and we have Celine. She is basically fleeing Paris after a certain event happens that makes her need to leave there, and she used to be like a dressmaker there, and she's like 17 years old, and so she's coming to America, and she's getting taken in by this convent, and they basically like have them start kind of working there and help with the convent, but then also they're looking to find them husbands and stuff for their future. So she pretty quickly catches the attention of Sebastian, who is the leader of the city's underworld called La Cour des Lions, which is basically the court of lions. And some bodies start showing up in some very gruesome murdered way, and she's like, I feel like something is going on here. She thinks there's a connection between them and Sebastian, and she wants to figure it out and make sure she's not going to be a future victim. And there's something about Sebastian that just kind of really pulls her in as well. So far with the audiobook, you can tell that she's got some secrets that are starting to come out as to why she had to flee and leave. And she's also just got this kind of adventurous, dangerous side where she's kind of intrigued by this whole world, and is maybe should be a little bit more scared than she probably is. So there's definitely some paranormal aspects to this. I know I don't think they are super strong in this first book. I believe they come in a little stronger in the next, but definitely there already. Like, I don't know, I just feel like I saw so many reviews of people being like, there's not any vampires of this, since it was kind of compared to Twilight, which I can actually see, like, even in the beginning of this, I kind of, it's definitely different than Twilight, but it has those, like, the vampires just got that same kind of vibe. You know, they're beautiful and illustrious, and they draw people in, and they're super quick, and just, I don't know. So there is like a certain vibe and air to it, because probably just because it's vampire-ish. But it's just not like outright said, which it's not in Twilight either. They don't say it outright that that's who the Cullens are or anything. So I don't know. Anyways, it's definitely in there, and so we can count that into like a paranormal kind of pick, and that's gonna be my audiobook for the week. So that's where we're at TBR wise, and I will try to like be updating on my Instagram as well throughout the week. So if you guys want to add in to there, I guess after, you can go back and look at some of my pictures, because this won't go up for a while. But I also might split this into 2 different videos. I did that with Strangeathon. I think it works out a little bit better, because a whole week of vlogging does get a little bit long, especially when I'm got like 9 books that I'm thinking I might try and read. We'll see if I actually do that, but it's very possible. So that's kind of where we're at with that, and I will talk to you guys soon when I've read more. Hey friends, how we doing today? It is day 2 of Summerween. I didn't do much vlogging wise yesterday because my day went very downhill. I just turned into a rough day. My husband ended up, like, he knew I was getting frustrated and irritated with my day, and he brought me home some Milanos, and I just like devoured almost the entire bag last night, and just it was a night. So we hung out, we listened to some music for a little while. I also did some reading, so I definitely have some updates. And now it is Saturday morning, and Saturday mornings we clean house, so we were just working on that, and now I'm kind of ready to, I guess, continue into my day. Not a ton of plans today that's like interesting stuff. It's just like, need to clean up and run a couple errands. So we'll see how the day goes, but I have been able to listen to The Beautiful by Renee Audier quite a bit since I have been cleaning and listening, and just kind of while I was getting ready and everything, I was able to listen. So I'm about 60% into the audiobook there, and I'm really enjoying it. I really like the New Orleans atmosphere. In the late 1800s, they've got a whole month of festivals going on, and I'm assuming it's leading up to Mardi Gras, because they mentioned Mardi Gras being like the best one, but it hasn't happened yet. And so I'm just enjoying like that they're having all these street fairs and festivals going on at night, and so that's been really fun. There's a very like mysterious air to the entire thing, and definitely some like vampire kind of action, but you don't really know what it is, and you're just like, what is going on? And our main character, Celine, she's just getting to that point where she's like, this isn't like normal, like this is a paranormal type thing, like these, whatever's going on is not being done by a human, and she's just starting to kind of get to that point. And very curious about Sebastian. He's kind of the leader of our court of lions, and they definitely have an attraction to each other, even though they both know that they shouldn't. And she's trying to, you know, she lives in a convent right now. She's supposed to be looking for a husband and being respectable and this and that. And Sebastian's definitely not that kind of a person. And then we have Sebastian, who knows, like, I think he's starting to realize that he doesn't usually have feelings for women like this. And he's getting a little bit of a soft spot for her, and that's probably bad for him in general, because people can really take advantage of that. So I'm enjoying that, but yeah, there's definitely just, I don't know, the atmosphere is just kind of mysterious and creepy, and you're just trying to figure out what's going on. Another thing with Sebastian that's really odd is he's constantly checking his pulse, and I thought he was more of like being the vampire in the story, but he has a pulse. So do vampires in the story have a pulse, or is that saying he doesn't? And there, I feel like, this is just me speculating, but I think like if his pulse gets going too much, I feel like every time he's like always checking his pulse during like stressful situations or situations that are going to get his heartbeat up. So like maybe when his heartbeat gets to a certain point, something happens, and so he's trying to keep himself in check. I'm not really sure more than that. So that's kind of like odd and unusual. And I'm like, okay, what's going on there? And I think, I don't know, I like Celine because she's supposed to be the prim proper, but you can tell that she's very drawn to this dark side. And she's like, why do women just have to get married? And like, that's all we're good for. It's to serve a man. And, you know, always love me a strong, independent woman. So that's always a good trope for me. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying the story overall right now. I'm liking the kind of vampire type feel. There's also like a few chapters like in between sometimes where we're from a different perspective, but we don't know who's talking. And it sounds like to me someone that Sebastian or his group turned into a vampire and she wants revenge. But I also question that because we don't know who it is. Like, maybe it's Sebastian and he wants revenge on somebody. But it's definitely somebody who's been turned that is mad about it and upset. And they want to cause problems and issues. And they're realizing that Celine could be a soft spot. At least that's my, like, kind of what I'm, yeah, so it shouldn't be Sebastian. I haven't totally figured out who that is. So I'm curious. It is done in a female voice, so it makes me think it's female, but I don't know if it's just that they only had one person doing it all. But I believe that it's a female. I don't know, we'll see. The other update I have for you is I started reading Thornhill by Pam Smee last night. I'm actually about halfway through. It's really quick to read because there is the pictures in there, and even like the writing is pretty large font and pretty easy, quick to get through, but I'm really enjoying the way the story's being told. We're following, in the pictures, we have Ella, who just moved into this house that has a perfect view from her window of Thornhill, and she keeps seeing this girl out there, and she's just telling it all in pictures. And it's actually really cool how the pictures are done, and they just like add little details as you're going through, and they all kind of are connecting. It's really like interesting. I always find it so interesting, like, how do people think up these ideas? It's incredible and like so imaginative, and I just love that. And so she's like followed her in there, and she kind of keeps kind of getting to her, but then she's gone, or she finds little traces of her being there. She'll like pick up a doll piece from her playing or something like that. So she's just trying to figure out more of what's going on with this girl. And then we're following in the diary entries, that is Mary, and she was in Thornhill when it was an institute for orphaned kids, and all these girls lived there, and she was heavily bullied, and it's really hard to hear. Like, you're just like, you feel so much for her, and it's just really hard. And basically the orphanage ends up getting closed while she was living there. They are having to kind of look into more of that. So I'm assuming Ella's going to be trying to work on trying to figure out what happened to Mary, and Mary's there, obviously still stuck there. She's got some unfinished business or something. There was this one passage, I read it to my husband last night, that just like really resonated with me, and it was just like, it was so sad, and I was just like, but so truthful in like so many ways, you know? Okay, so it says, I know she won't take it any further. I am surrounded by adults at school and at Thornhill, but none of them can really see what is happening. They don't want to know. I wonder why that is. What is it that stops an adult from sitting down and really saying, how are things with you? Or is everything okay? I suspect that they are afraid they might get a truthful answer, and then they would have to do something, get involved. Or maybe they just can't imagine anything unpleasant or nasty. Maybe they don't want to think that something horrid can be happening to people they know. Like, that's just so truthful of bullying. Like, we might see signs of this and that happening, but why don't we go over and ask? Or, you know, then do you just feel stuck? Like, okay, I'm going to go ask, and they're going to be like, no, everything's not okay. And then, you know, we're expected to obviously do something about that, but how many people actually do, like, take that extra step? I don't know. It just was very, like, truthful and resonating to the fact that, like, we can't just, like, keep turning blind eyes to everything. And I mean, I'm guilty of doing this as well. I think we all do it in some degree and somewhere in our life, but like sometimes we have to actually like try and do something about it, and we can't just ignore it all the time. And I don't know, bullying is just like one of those things where it's just like it shouldn't happen and it shouldn't be there, and we have so many people around kids that should be able to reach out and realize these signs and talk to them and have ways to help them. There just needs to be more happening there. So anyways, that's kind of, I guess, a heavier topic that does happen in this book. But overall, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying the storytelling aspect of how it's being told. I find it very intriguing and interesting, and I'm flying through it very quickly. My thing fell down, but yeah, I'm about halfway through. I imagine I will finish this today. I might even finish my audiobook today, and maybe we'll pick something else up. I don't know. We'll see. Well, hi guys. I'm sitting waiting on picking up a couple of prescriptions and figured that it was a good moment to just say hey again. I actually finished reading Thornhill before I left to go do some errands, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well crafted. There are definitely some trigger warnings for abuse and emotional abuse, bullying, that kind of a thing. But yeah, I thought that the topic was really well approached and thoughtful and real. And so I definitely thought that was really well done. I enjoyed the mixed media kind of element going on, and I really enjoyed the way it all came together, the actual content of the story, maybe not an enjoyable, type content, but it did well in the story, and I appreciated how the author did it. I also did not realize the author actually wrote and illustrated this, which is awesome. I think that's totally cool. I was wondering who illustrated it, and I was looking a little more into it, and she did both, so that was totally awesome. So I haven't run this through Cawpile, so I'm not exactly sure where the rating's going to land, but I would say between a 4 and a 5 for sure. So we'll find out later on that. I probably should have done that before I did this clip, but whatever. So I am thinking I'm going to start reading one of the short stories I have on my Kindle. I'm thinking the Darcy Coates one, but I'll let you know in my next update. Hello and happy 4th of July! That is Independence Day here in the States, and so a little celebrating going on later today for us. Gonna go to a friend's barbecue, and we're gonna watch some fireworks and have some fun later. So I figured I'd get on and say hey before all of that starts happening. I have a little bit of updates, but not a ton for you guys. I'm still working through The Beautiful. I think I'm like 75% into that one. I'm enjoying it. I'm still intrigued. Very curious about this mysterious person that's doing all the attacking that we're getting. I don't know, that perspective, it's throwing me off, and I'm still like, what is happening here? And then I did start The Haunting of Gillespie House, I think is what it's called. I keep forgetting the name of that one for some reason. I keep wanting to say The House instead of The Haunting. The Haunting of Gillespie House. And this is by Darcy Coates. And I'm about a quarter of the way into this one and very much enjoying it. I actually am already starting to get a little freaked out and creeped out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on in this house? And I'm like, man, I should read this one at night. Why am I reading it during the day right now? Because it definitely has that creepy vibe. I need to put some creepy music on and just be in the dark and just totally scare the bejesus out of myself. So yeah, this one we are following, what is our main character's name? Ella. She is house sitting for the Gillespies, and she's super excited to be there. She loves looking through old houses and just checking them out. And this is 3 stories, and the top 2 floors are bedrooms and stuff. They each have 5 bedrooms on each floor. And, it's got a library on the main floor, and obviously kitchen, dining room, all the usuals. But the top floor, it seems like nobody ever goes up there. It's super coated in dust. There's a bunch of furniture and paintings just covered in dust cloths. And she's just like, why is all this stuff up here? It's beautiful and gorgeous and would add so much to the house. And then on the second floor, that's where her room is that she's staying in, and the bedroom of the Gillespies and stuff. There's one door in the whole house that's locked. And she's like, that's weird. Why is this door locked? And she just keeps hearing, like, she'll wake up at night and there's like scratching. And even during the day, she thought she heard like somebody in the house like slammed a door, and she's like, what is going on? And she like called them, and they're like, oh, one of the doors just doesn't shut properly, so it does that sometimes. And so yeah, I'm like just getting into the second night that she's been there, and definitely getting some weird, creepy, haunting vibes. She also found the graveyard where like all of the death dates are in the same year, and you're like, what happened here? So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. It's definitely got some good creepy vibes. I feel like there's going to be a good backstory going on with the family and why like the graveyard, all the deaths are the same, and there's like a mausoleum that's like boarded up and says some creepy things on it. So she's like, I don't want to open that. So I'm totally loving it. It's very isolated. Like, she can't just walk to town or get to town very easily. She doesn't have a car. She like took a taxi in, so she's kind of stuck out there. Not a great situation for her, but definitely a great situation for a book, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep going through that a little bit before we get going to our barbecue, and then probably just enjoy the rest of my day. I don't know how much more reading I'll get done past this point, but that's where we're at. So I will talk to you soon. Well, hello friends. So I was intending on trying to take some video of fireworks or something yesterday, but margaritas and jello shots happened, and yeah. But you know, that means that this morning I've been in bed and I haven't gotten up to do anything, which means that I've done some reading. So I do have some reading updates for you guys. So I finished The Haunting of Gillespie House by Darcy Coates, and I really enjoyed it. It was kind of creepy. Like, I was like reading it yesterday during the day, and then I was like, I really should be reading this one in the dark. Like, this one definitely could give you some like frightening moments and little scares going on. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked the kind of creepy atmosphere it was giving off, and this girl just being isolated and not able to get to anyone else, and this house is just haunted and creepy and scary, and there's scratching in the walls, and she keeps thinking she's hearing people in the house, and like, I'd be freaked out if that was happening to me. So it was good. I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it a 4-star, and so really enjoyed that one. It was a fun one. I enjoyed her writing, so I definitely feel like Darcy Coates would be an author that I want to read more from in the future. And actually, at the end of the book, there was a second short story, so I read that, and it's called Crawl Space, and it was just like a 20-page little short story, and it was about like this family. They move around a lot, and they move into this old house, and it used to be an orphanage back in the Great Depression, and it housed like 60 kids, and so there's a little bit of some history there, and they end up talking to these elderly neighbors of theirs that were there when the orphanage was open, and they're like, there's been like a couple kids that have gone missing through the years, that have lived in this house and stuff, and so they were talking about that, and then, you know, things kind of move from there, because they do have one, so it's like a mom and dad and then the daughter, and we're following from the daughter's perspective. So yeah, it was just like a short little thing. I ended up giving it 3 stars, mainly because I didn't like the way she ended it. I feel like, you know, it was like supposed to be short, but it just felt really abrupt, and I just don't understand what actually like happened. It was kind of just weird. I don't know. I just didn't really like, just like literally the last page. The rest of it, I was like, okay, this is creepy and interesting, but then like, yeah, I don't know. It was just a weird way to end it. I don't know. But, you know, it was cool. I got in another book that I wasn't really expecting. So, yeah, as I'm trying to drink some water and just kind of chill in bed today, I figure I'm probably going to get through a little bit of reading, hoping I can get up and moving and just cleaning up in the house a little bit later. And I definitely have to get some school stuff done because I have an assignment that's due today. So I do have to eventually do stuff, but right now I think I'm going to hop into one of my graphic novels. I don't know why, but I'm getting really drawn to Something is Killing the Children. Like, that's the one that I really want. There's the kitty. Oh, how critter. So I think I might pick that one up, but that one's also on Hoopla, so I do have to kind of like do that one on my phone, and I like to have them paper, and my other ones are physically in book form, which I like so much better as far as seeing the artwork better and whatnot. So I haven't fully decided, but I'll be back and we'll find out soon. Haven't really moved much from the bed, but you know, a little bit maybe. But I've done some reading. I also did write my paper I had to write for school today, so that is done. But I figured I would update you guys. I ended up not picking up Something is Killing the Children. I really wanted to, but my daughter wanted to use my phone, and so I let her use my phone, and I started reading the other graphic novels that I had. So I read this one. It's called Maids. It's by Katie Skelly, and I know I kind of talked about this earlier, but it really is about these two maids, and you kind of are following them through their daily life of cleaning and taking care of this household, and you get to see some of their backstory with their mom, who, you know, is maybe not the greatest person, and maybe these people that they work for that aren't maybe the greatest people, and you know, their relationship's kind of interesting. They're like sisters, and you can tell that they feel very connected to each other and everything, but yeah, then they just end up deciding to kill everybody. And it's a little odd, and I feel like there just was some missing context there. But yeah, overall, I mean, it was not terrible, but it wasn't anything special, so I'm giving this one a 3-star. So then I went ahead and started reading Basket Full of Heads by Joe Hill, and I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit. It's not my favorite art style-wise, but I enjoyed the storyline quite a bit, and I was surprised by it at multiple turns, and I was like, this is kind of throwing me for a loop, and then I thought it was going to go one way, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's totally going to go this way, right? And then it didn't, and I was like, what? Okay, cool, I like it. Our main female character, too, she was pretty badass, and I appreciated that. I thought she was pretty good. Although I did also find it kind of weird that she was kicking so much butt, and like it didn't really seem to affect her that she was chopping heads off, and then like that she just could do it and just had the skills and like everything, and so maybe a little unbelievable on some of that, but overall, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good, and I gave this one a 4-star. If you want to read a good horror graphic novel, I feel like I'm actually enjoying Joe Hill's graphic novels quite a bit. I read Lock and Key by him recently, and I enjoyed that one as well. So he may be one that I check out more stuff from as far as graphic novels go, or maybe even just regular novel, because I haven't read any of his novels yet. So that's where I'm at there. What else? So I did go ahead and pick up The Turtle Boy by Keelan Patrick Burke. This is another author that I'm curious about some of his work, and so I wanted to try one out. And so I'm about a third of the way into this novella, and I am curious as to where it's going to go. Our main character, Timmy, he goes with his friend Paul to this like little pond, and they see this creepy kid there, and he's all, oh, I'm just trying to feed the turtles, and he's got like his foot in the water, and it's just like, what in the heck are you doing? And they swear that they see that there's like a chunk of his foot missing, and they're like, what? And then he's meeting up with a different friend, and she mentions that she saw him there too, and he said that the only thing he said to her was, they're hungry. So I'm like, creepy. So there's like this creepy kid sitting over there feeding himself to the turtles. I don't know. Like, what is happening right now? I don't know. I think they're going to go and investigate and check it out a little bit more. And they probably shouldn't. But, you know, it's a horror novel, so that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Always got to run into things that you really shouldn't be, right? Otherwise, where would the story even go? So that's kind of where I'm at with reading at the moment. And so I think I'm going to read a little bit more of The Turtle Boy, and we're going to get moving through that. And I'm actually moving through a lot of my books I wanted to get through this week, and so I'm excited. We're on day 4, so we're, you know, getting through that halfway point of the week, and I've already finished these 2 graphic novels, and I finished The Haunting of Gillespie House and Thornhill, so that's 4, and I'm working on my 5th one with The Turtle Boy, and then I also have The Beautiful still going. That's my 6th one, and I still have 3 more otherwise, and one of them's, again, another, like, short novella. I think that one's even shorter. It's only, like, 50 pages or something. The one by Jennifer McMahon. And then My Heart is a Chainsaw. That's my longer one, for sure. That one's, like, a full novel. And then I have Something is Killing the Children, which is another graphic novel. So I feel like, honestly, because I haven't been feeling good and I've just been laying around all day, I'm probably going to, like, blast through a lot of these shorter ones, and then maybe the rest of the week I'll just be vlogging My Heart is a Chainsaw. Maybe I'll find, like, a good audiobook or something. I don't know. We'll see. It's going good. I'm digging Summerween right now. I'm getting through some awesome reads. I'm enjoying it. I'm feeling the Halloween vibes. Still have to figure out what I'm going to, like, bake as far as a treat, or what kind of drink or something I'm going to make. I'm not sure what I'm doing there yet. I'll have to think about that, and hopefully we'll do that soon. Good morning! Oh my goodness, it feels so wonderful to feel good. I cleaned up, like, literally there was dishes just everywhere this morning, and I worked out, and I'm just, it feels so good to feel good. So I have so many updates for you guys. I think I have 5 books to talk about. So I finally finished The Beautiful on audio. Actually, I can probably take these out. And I really enjoyed it. I feel like I actually was thinking about it, and I think the audiobook did a really good job of just building kind of a mysterious, creepy atmosphere. I was totally vibing with that, and I enjoyed the plot. I don't think it was anything like super out there different with plot. You know, our characters were kind of similar characters that we've had before. We have a strong woman who's trying to figure out what's going on. We have these 2 fated kind of lovers who just seem drawn to each other, but they're not really sure, you know, like 100% what it is, and they're not feeling like that person's their meant to be person, but they're still attracted to each other otherwise. And so I think we have a little bit of that. I really loved the New Orleans vibes, though. I thought that was really fun. I liked that they kind of kept the immortal beast kind of quiet and secretive, and we definitely had some twists in some of the characters, and who was actually a good person, bad person, although there's a lot of gray in the story, which I personally love. Morally gray areas in people and their actions and just everything. And I can just see the next book building so much on what has already happened as well. So we did have kind of a conclusion and wrap up in certain ways with this one, but there's definitely some questions I've got going on, and I'm like, hold up. You guys need to backtrack what is happening. So I'm curious for sure to get into the next one. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I am glad that I decided to do something outside of the ghost paranormal piece, because I had a ton of that kind of stuff going on in my TBR. So having this more vampire type story, I think, was really, really fun. And I definitely can see the Twilight connections for sure. It's not 100%. I think it's a little more adultish than Twilight, but still just, yeah, and a little more historical, because you are, you know, in a farther past time in New Orleans and stuff. But I don't know, it was fun. I like that. 4 stars for sure. So I also finished The Turtle Boy, which I think I started talking about yesterday a little bit. And this one was really good. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, I read so many books yesterday. So The Turtle Boy by Keelan Patrick Burke. I enjoyed this one as well. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I think that this one kind of had a really different and unique twist. It is a series actually of short stories, and so I'm curious as to where it's going to go from here. I actually really wasn't expecting the character arc that is kind of happening with the main character that's going to be going through each of these, Timmy, and was kind of surprised by, I don't know, I'm curious as to what's going on with his family and stuff. I would like to get to know some of those other side characters a little bit more. I feel like that would really pull into this story a little bit more, but I understand it's like 100 pages. What are you going to do? But yeah, I enjoyed the story overall. Did it do anything super fun and extra? I don't know, but it was good. Yeah, it was good. And then I read Hannah Beast, and this one might be like, I think I liked Thornhill a little bit more, but I think Hannah Beast would be my second favorite that I've read so far. I really enjoyed this one, and it's literally like 48 pages, I think. It was so short, but like Jennifer McMahon built up this story, and she built up these characters somehow in that short amount of time, and you're just like, how in the heck? Like, okay, so you're following like 2 different timelines. You're following in the past when Hannah basically is subjected to this scavenger hunt by these girls, and really they're just bullying her and getting her into trouble, and some things go nasty. And then we're following in the future where kids now dress up as Hannah Beast, and it's like a whole thing in this town. There's this mom that she just has a problem with it. So yeah, we get to find out what happened in the past, what's going on right now with this mom, and the ending. Oh my gosh, like the last page, I was like, no, that did not just happen. Oh my gosh, I literally gasped. It was a full-on audible gasp moment. Yeah, I'm like, wait, I want more. Like, I really enjoyed that one. And it was so short, but it was so good. Like, it would, like, how do you develop so much in such a short story? Ooh. Anyways, so yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I think it still came out at a 4-star, but that one definitely like is pushing towards, you know, a 5. Like if I did half stars, it'd definitely be a 4.5. It was very enjoyable. I might move it up because I still am thinking about it quite a bit, and I'm still like, maybe I need to rethink what I had put into Compile and rated this, because there's something more going on here, I think. And then I read Something is Killing the Children, which I read volume 1. It is a graphic novel, and this one we're following, yeah, these kids, like there's just a ton of kids missing from this town, Archer's Peak. We follow this woman, and she comes into town because she finds out about it, and she's like, I know what to do. I gotta take care of this. There's some monsters happening in here for sure. I loved our main character. She is awesome. Like, she can kick butt, but she's also got like feelings, and she's got some back history you learn about, and there's just so much depth going on there, and I really enjoyed that. And we've got some other side characters that we're learning more about, but she's just very well-rounded, and I really, really, really like her. And the overall story, I'm like, oh my gosh, where's this going? And there's some really good high stakes where you're just like, no, the kids, wait, what? Oh, hold on. Like, you know, there's a lot going on there, and the, like, people she kind of works for or works with, she doesn't totally agree with everything they've got going on, and so there's a little bit of some tension going on there, as well as some tension with the like sheriff and stuff within this town. So yeah, there's a lot going on in here, and I really enjoyed it, and I ended up downloading volume number 2 on Hoopla as well, and I finished volume number 2. So I finished both volumes. It's like 10 issues total, and I'm really enjoying the story. I would like to continue. Volume 3 is not on Hoopla. I might have to check Libby. Otherwise, I have to go into issues, and I just don't know if I'm going to have enough Hoopla holds for that, or, you know, downloads, because I get so many a month. So I might continue with this one. I might wait for the volume 3 to come out. But 4 stars for both of those. I really, really liked them. And yeah. So yeah, I'm super enjoying a lot of my reading. I'm getting through so much reading and I'm loving it. Summerween has been awesome. I think today, so I think this is gonna be kind of the end of this half of the vlog, and then I will start into the next half of the vlog and we will read some more books and bake some goodies because I still haven't done that yet, but I'm thinking pumpkin pie is coming. And yeah, so I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and if you're doing Summerween, that you're reading some really awesome reads. I'm definitely finding some authors that I am excited to read more from, and